There is a famous quote that says, "Gratitude and attitude are not challenges, they are choices." It's something we've spent the last year discussing with Denise and Jennifer from the Sacred Space. And if you've been following along, you know that mindset in particular has been a big part of this journey. So today, in our final interview of the year with Jennifer John from the Sacred Space, we're going to focus solely on gratitude as we all prepare for 2023. Welcome back, Jennifer.
Thank you, Candace, for having me. Nice to see you again.
I did a little whoop whoop when I saw the notes come through for today's show. Just from a personal perspective, I had a very challenging year. And I can say without a doubt that gratitude and mindset has helped me get through. And that's largely due to you guys that you've been on the show. And, I've got to benefit from that. So I'm really looking forward to this discussion. So where would you like to
So
jump
am
off?
I. So am I, Candace. And thank you so much. That's wonderful to hear. Gratitude, it's something that seems so simple, very simple concept, but it is so challenging, especially, for the last year that we've had. Although, this past year has been almost sort of like the light of hope over the past 2 years of going through the whole pandemic and whatnot, it still, had remnants of challenges through it. And so just focusing on gratitude as we look ahead to a 2023, because everyone you speak to, everyone you interact with, everyone is hoping that 2023 will far exceed 2022, right? They want to come out stronger and better and healthier, happier. And so one of the ways of doing that is actually, rethinking gratitude and how to implement that so that we can have a even greater 2023.
Yeah, I think for me, I was very, very low around this time last year. And it was hard because when you're in that mindset and you're low, it is hard to see positivity. It is hard to embrace gratitude. So for me, it was just tiny little shifts of
Mm.
at least making a point of highlighting one little thing I could be grateful for in each day. It created a snowball and it's just kept going. So this year's so much different than last. So what are your tips for sort of shifting mindset towards gratitude?
It starts with awareness. I know that was a big topic for us for 2022 is awareness, because with awareness comes that shifting of a mindset, right? And for you to be able to do that successfully, you have to be able to open up yourself to different perspectives and open up yourself to something new. And with that comes that awareness of what is it that you're trying to achieve? What is it that you're hoping to experience? And as you do that, as you said, one little thing, one step at a time. And for some, gratitude is going to be challenging. It is, because depending on your experiences, depending on the challenges that you've had, it may be even more difficult for you to look for, the diamond in the rough, to look for those moments of happiness and of that you can be thankful for. But if you start off very small, if you start off with what do you actually have in your life that you can actually be thankful for? Start and use that as a starting point. And from there, as you said, you start to gain momentum, because when you start to find one thing that you're thankful and grateful for, you often find two, a second thing, a third thing. And before you know it, you start to feel that contentment that, what, life is not so bad for me at this moment. There are things, yes, I've gone through challenges. And yes, there have been things that, I found difficult, but there were also things that, added to my happiness, added to my overall contentment, made my life better, or in some way, shape, or form, or made me experience something that brought me joy.
Yeah, and that kind of takes me to my next point because it's funny. I was with some friends on the weekend and somebody said, I hadn't seen them in a while. I said, "How are you doing?" And I had to pause. And it was only when I looked back and sort of reflected on the last year that I realized how far I had come. And
Mm.
so let's talk about reflection a little bit. What does that look like as we head into the new year? What should we be looking for?
With reflection, you take time, moments to yourself where you actually look back and look through the different experiences you've had. Look through the relationships you have, the good people in your life, the people that add value to you, the people that make you feel good, that enrich the experiences you've had. Look for the good things. And as you're doing that, you're sifting through, taking time to sift through those moments, sift through those experiences. You'll find places where it's like, yes, I can be grateful for that. Yes, I am thankful for that. And it starts to come natural. Just a natural progression from as you're starting to reflect through those moments. Part of the challenge in doing that is that we also start to see things that we may have regretted. And so, you have as we're looking back to be grateful, you may find things that you regret at the same time. And so that's a challenge in itself. And one of the ways I find to combat that is to give yourself a little bit of grace, because there are disappointments, there are things that have made us be like, I'm not where I thought or I hoped to be, or situation circumstance may not have turned out the way I really wanted it to. But extend yourself some grace, because you have come, as you said, you've come a far way when you actually look back beyond that event, circumstance, or experience. You have come a far way. And so as you do that, you're extending yourself some grace and you're adding peace to your life, right?
Yeah, I love that you said that, because I recently read this. I don't know where I saw it now, and I may probably mess up the paraphrasing of it, but it was about that very thing, about regrets that we may have and beating ourselves up about them. And it said, it's not a life sentence. You're not meant to beat yourself up about these things forever. So reflect, learn from it, and then move on from it, correct?
Correct. Even nature itself speaks to us about new beginnings. So it encourages, the day comes, the day ends, and a brand new one starts again. And so it's reminding us that, you don't necessarily have to carry everything from your yesterday to your today. You can choose to take some things with you and some things to leave behind, and something just to start fresh. It's a refreshing rejuvenation for yourself. And so as we take cues from even nature saying to us, listen, there's a new day with new opportunities, new possibilities, new experiences that are awaiting you. And, some of them that you've had in the past may not have been the greatest, but it's not, as you said, a life sentence. It's not the end all be all. There is hope for you, and you can experience something better, greater, and different.
I love that analogy, by the way, of nature. Because I know winter is very hard for people too. And
Mhm.
for me, I look at it as it's a rest period, just as it is for nature. It's a time to, rest and relax, cocoon, go to bed early, sleep in a little
Take
bit,
care of yourself a little bit, right? And you know that it does
Absolutely.
come to an end. Winter doesn't last forever. For us, it doesn't last forever. And in nature, it shouldn't. There's a beginning and there's an end to it. And with every season, there comes a beginning and an end. And so if we take our cues from that, we learn that we need times of rest. We need times of rejuvenation. Yes, there are times when we're more active than other times, but that doesn't mean that, we failed at something or we should be disappointed or look back and regret. It just means that maximize that time, that moment for what it is, embrace it for what it is, and move on, and know that you can have better and more and begin again.
The last one, I spoke with Denise on the last interview, and we were sort
Right.
of talking about preparing ourselves for 2023. And I know that as people are listening to this,
Right.
they understand that they should be preparing themselves mentally, but also we're kind of stuck in this chaotic season. Any recommendations you would give people right now who are trying to find the moments of calm amongst all the chaos?
One of we're speaking of gratitude, right, and being grateful for what we have, and all these things. And I think one of the things we often tend to forget is self-gratitude. So looking at where we are, who we are, and taking some stock in that. And so as you do that, you're sort of distancing yourself a little bit from the chaos, and then focusing a little bit on yourself as you're moving through this season, because it does take so much out of us. There's so much chaos, the bustling, the hustling, the running around, and extending ourselves so much for others. And it's great. It's a time that we do that. But also it should be a time where we also sort of take care of ourselves. And so in doing that, slowing things down a little bit in the midst of everything, and experiencing some of that for ourselves.
This has just been, I think, the perfect ending to this year-long series with you. Gratitude is so important. So I'm so grateful that this is what you decided to focus on today. I guess I'm grateful for gratitude. So Jennifer, I know that you're still running your 21-day challenge because
Yes,
people can jump in anytime.
anytime.
Don't wait till January. So where can they connect with you?
They can connect on Facebook at the Sacred Space 21-day challenge. Also, the Sacred Space on Facebook. If you go there, you'll find all of our connections, our links, and whatnot, social media pages, platforms, and jump in at any time.
All right, amazing. And you also have some great blog posts over on whatshesaid.com. If people want to go get caught up before the new year gets here, I want to just direct them to that. And thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you, Candice. It's been wonderful.